this work, we are going to talk about a topic that affects everyone in the planet because it's a real daily problem that everyone is involved. So we in this video that it's composed by me and other four of my teammates. We are going to talk chronologically about the document we made about the topic that is recyclation. That is a real base problem that affects everyone in the planet. We are going to propose and explain various solutions and that we could be the consequence, but in this occasion we propose to use the recyclation as the principal method for the problematic, which could be the trash that the people produce daily in their daily life. The trash that every person produces will have to be measured because everyone produces different quantity of trash. So the trash that every person produces is a lot more greater than the one that the planet could manage. It could have to be measured, and you could say what is recyclation. And for to give a little definition, I can say that is the practice of reusing items that would otherwise be discarded as waste. Variation of recycling is divided in different types. That could be upcycling, which involves the adding value to an item for reuse, and downcycling, which involves breaking down an item or substance into its component elements to reuse anything that can be salvaged. And the other one is the recycling, that is the last one, that it's an alternative, which involves the acquisition of necessary items that will have eventually to be recycled or dealt as waste. And that's all.
One of the biggest problems of nowadays is the excessive accumulation of trash. Every day a lot of trash and waste are produced by the human being, leaving those trash in streets and other ecosystems like oceans. This trash is generating contamination and affecting the ecosystems of the nature. According to INEGI, in Mexico there are produced over 86,343 tons of garbage that are collected daily. That it's equivalent to 770 grams of trash per person. This trash is generated mainly in households, buildings, streets, avenues, parks, and
This
gardens.
accumulation of trash is taken principally in big cities or the parks of the big cities, where the population of the human beings is too big.
Hi, my name is Patricio Hernandez, and as my partner Marcelo said, the accumulation of garbage has been a very strong problem since for the last couple of years, and especially in our home in Mexico, and because the industries are not very controlled by the government, and they can do almost everything they want. The industries are causing a lot of garbage, as I said, because the government doesn't do anything about it, because it is better for them that they can do almost everything they want in order to get more money. That people are very into it, and we can say that where you go to work, you go to school, you go to I don't know, to the mall, And if you see to your surroundings, you can see a lot of garbage in the environment. If you go to several parks, there is a lot of garbage. Especially it's because the people is not very well educated of how it is very harmful to the planet that we are still leaving garbage in our parks, in our city, in our houses, in our schools. We need to change this mentality now before it is very late.
The problem that we detect as a team is that the garbage that is accumulated in all the world is much than that we can have. So this is a problem that we need to take more care about, because in some days it will be a bigger problem and our world will be so contaminated. So our hypothesis is that we need to recycle all the trash that is around the world, specifically the plastic, the bottles, and all of that, because with that materials we can recycle them and we can make some products, for example tables, chairs, and that is one example. What we do is recycle some plastic in the parks, in the park of San Nicolas. As we can see here, we collect some trash or plastic bottles from the parks.
So, our main hypothesis is to prove that if we start recycling all the trash that we drop on our garbage containers daily, the world obviously will be less contaminated and with much less trash. So, in order to prove it, we're gonna be going to public zones or parks looking for paper, plastic, or aluminium in order to give them a new life or to separate. Our hypothesis is that if we start recycling all the materials that we daily drop in the garbage containers, the world's contamination will be less and the trash will be much less. To test the hypothesis, we're going to start a campaign in some parts of our country. This campaign consists in putting some trash cans for recycle all the trash that the people just leave there. This means the residues. So we're going to put some trash cans all over the park with our name of the campaign, and start inviting people to put their plastic instruments such as bottle caps, plastic bottles, stripes, containers, and other instruments made of plastic in order to recycle them. This means giving them another use or life. But if we don't find any use, or if we don't find any life just because they are dirty or they cannot be used anymore, we're just gonna donate it to some enterprises for they to use it to make something better for the environment.
In conclusion, we as a team think that the recycle is a very bad problem, and a sustainable life is very important not only for us, but also is very important for the future generations that will come after us. They are the ones that will really suffer the damage that we are doing right now. So that is why it's very important for us to start with the change in our planet, to preserve the planet, and they will also protect the planet and keep it. Our planet is something that is impossible to make another equal, so that is why it's very important for when you are walking or going to somewhere, not use the car, use another way to transport, like the bicycle, or just go walking.